Hi there, my name is Sam Huber, and I am here today to show you how to change a pump. This is my pump. It is a T-Slim X2, and we are going to go through all of the steps needed to change it. So the first thing we have to do is go in. You can see my deliveries are stopped because it's not connected to me right now. You go into options, hit load, and then you're taking this screen with all these boxes. You click change cartridge, you click check, and then it will say preparing for cartridge. And then once you're on this screen, you are ready to fill up the cartridge, which we will get to next. All right, so this is our insulin reservoir that connects to the pump. And so it comes sealed in package like this. You open it up, and then you stand it up for actually putting the insulin in it, which is what we will do next. So next we are using this syringe to get a little bit of insulin out to prep the reservoir. So you take the syringe, you draw a little bit of air into it, you put it into the vial, inject the air, and draw out a small amount of insulin. And that's all for this step. Okay, so this next step might be a little bit hard to see on video. You take your syringe with the small amount of insulin and you stick it into this white spot here, which is where you put the insulin into the reservoir. And you stick it and you push until there's just a bit of resistance. Normally it's about halfway down. And instead of injecting the insulin, we're going to use that small amount to pull out any air bubbles that are present, it's a little tricky, that are present in the vial, or in the reservoir. So you just pull until the bubbles stop, normally a couple of seconds, and at which point you just withdraw it from the reservoir, and that's it for that step. Okay, so for this next part, you once again fill your syringe with air to the required amount for your dosage. For me, it is about 2 cc's. So as you can see, I fill to that point in the reservoir in the syringe with air, at which point I grab my insulin vial, repeat the same process, push the needle in the vial, flip it, push the air in, and then withdraw the insulin out to that same mark that I filled with air before. I flip it back over, remove the syringe once again, and that's it for that step. Next, we are actually filling the reservoir with the insulin. So we are taking our filled syringe, which we are making sure is clear of any air bubbles, injecting it into that same white mark until we feel it stop, and then carefully pushing the insulin into the reservoir until the syringe is empty, at which point we withdraw it, place our cap back on our syringe, and dispose of it in a sharps container. So now we are taking our filled reservoir and actually attaching it to the pump. So as you can see on the pump, we are on our same screen. We are taking the reservoir and inserting it into where it fits into the pump. Just push it and there's an audible click, which point we click this lock here. Click check to make sure, to confirm that it is locked in place, which the pump will detect the cartridge. Drawing takes a couple of seconds. At which point we are ready to attach the tubing. Okay, so now we are taking our pump site, opening it up, and unraveling the tubing. You unlock it, twist it out to its full length, and attach it into the little notch on the side, at which point we take the end and attach it to our insulin pump. You just screw it until it is tight. Looks like that. And then you're back on the fill tubing screen, at which point you hold the pump vertically with the site horizontally above it, and you click start on the fill tubing process, which this is probably the longest step. You have to wait until there are drops that come out at the end of the cannula on the site. It normally takes, with this site and with this pump and this tubing length, about 10 to 12 units, and on the screen there is a display of how many units have been processed through. And you're holding it vertically so that any remaining air in the reservoir will be pushed out first. So you see there we have our first drop. It's normally good to wait for 1 or 2 so any air can get out. You just wait for it to go, and then you click stop on fill tubing. The fill will stop. It is currently calculating out how much insulin remains in the pump. And we confirm we saw drops, click done. And with that, we are ready to inject the site. As you can see, 2 of the 3 boxes from that same load screen have been checked off. The next one, fill cannula, we don't do until after the site is injected, which is what we are doing now. So we take our site, we remove the plastic cover that is over the needle carefully. And once that is off, we can take off the cover over the adhesive, at which point you pull the site back until it clicks, and it's now armed. We have our volunteer Albert here, and you on a real person, this would be on the abdomen in most cases, and so you press the site down, squeeze, and then push down on the tubing so that it doesn't get caught, and pull back, and replace the cap on your pump site, and then dispose of all your material safely. And that is how you change your pump site. Thank you.